Hello and welcome back to another video, and today I'm here showing off the first preview of my MotoGP 2024 mod. Now I know you guys always really look forward to these videos every year. Obviously I do a couple of them every year when I'm coming up towards release. In fact, this time it's actually very close to release. Usually it's quite early I want to show it, but this time the mod will probably be coming out pretty soon after the video. But yeah, of course, as it says on the tin, it is the MotoGP 2024 season mod. So without any further ado, let's get into showing you it. So obviously we've got Bagnaia first, then we've got Bastianini. Those two are the same. Same with Fabio Quartararo, but the first change is the other Yamaha rider. We've got Alex Rins. You can see, of course, same helmet as he has used this year. I've not done the testing liveries. I actually might do that this year. Might actually try and do some of them and release them in an update, but for now, it is just going to be the 2023 liveries with the 24 like numbers and stuff like stuck on them, and obviously with the suits as well, with their logos and their boots and their gloves and their helmet logos and stuff like that. But that's Alex Rins. Fits pretty well with the Yamaha, obviously already sort of Monster affiliated to an extent, so you can see the logos do line up pretty well, especially on the helmet. It does look like actually the helmet you would see for a Yamaha rider. Then we've got the two factory Aprilias, Aleix Espargaro and Maverick Vinales. Again, they're the same. Same with the two factory KTMs, Brad Binder and Jack Miller. Repsol Honda rider number 1, Joan Mir. Of course, he's now been promoted, I guess, to the number 1 rider instead of Marc Marquez, since he has left. Although we'll come on to Marc Marquez in a little bit. But we've got Luca Marini then up next. Obviously, a pretty late sort of addition. It was a rumour that was going around for quite a while, but of course it was announced quite late on. And he has moved, following his brother's footsteps, I guess, to a certain extent, to the Repsol Honda team. Now, you're probably wondering why have we still got... I've just noticed the cap there. It's got Mooney VR46 on. I'll fix that before it comes out. I hadn't noticed that one at all. But you're probably wondering why the helmet's got Monster logos on. I had intended to actually replace them with Red Bull logos, but apparently Red Bull are leaving Repsol Honda at the end of the year anyway. So it's not really worth doing, because he may still have Monster logos, and apparently I have heard they might just have neither, so they might have nothing, but I guess we will find out. But again, maybe I will actually update the Repsol Honda livery to take off the Red Bull logos, because it probably won't be that hard to do. But that's Luca Marini. It actually works pretty well, I think, this sort of scheme, because the orange, his orange is his sort of main colour, so it actually goes pretty well with the Repsol Honda. Like, you can see the elbows and the knee sliders and stuff are all orange. They go with his gloves that are orange and his boots that are orange, and also the helmet. So, and obviously the number on the front of the bike as well being orange. So I think the scheme actually does go quite well together, to be fair. It doesn't look out of place. But that's Marini then. So next up we've got Augusto Fernandez, obviously the only rookie last year, therefore Rookie of the Year by default, and someone who is going to be Rookie of the Year next year, Pedro Costa. You can see obviously on the Gas Tech 3 racing bike. Now the face, that is just one of the generic custom rider faces. Obviously I don't really have a way to 3D model Pedro Costa's face and put it in the game, so that's what I've done in place. But you can see this looks pretty much exactly like it did in testing, because he used his helmet. Obviously, the colours, obviously he was allowed to run in them straight away because he's part of the KTM family. The number on the front, obviously you see number 31. It looks just like the 37. In fact, it is the 37, just adjusted to make it look a bit more like a 1. But again, that's what it looked like in real life. I actually had him with the 51, an earlier version of this mod you may have seen some screenshots of. But of course it is now obviously the number 31, although it does look a lot like a 37, and I think will be pretty confusing when you actually get on track, to be honest. But Pedro Costa obviously pretty much looks bang on, because that's exactly what it actually looked like in the testing. So next up then we have got Joan Zoro moving to LCR Honda. Obviously he has ridden for this team in the past, obviously back in 2019, I believe it was. Yeah, it was 2019, wasn't it, when he got fired from KTM mid-season. Did a standing ride, or a couple of standing rides, for Takaki Nakagami on the Idemitsu bike, but this time he's on the Castrol variant, and again, actually seems to go pretty well, I think, the colour scheme. So obviously the red on the number, I probably should actually adjust that to match the Jivy red. That's not something I've thought of doing before, but maybe that is something I should have a look at doing maybe at some point. Obviously he's got a bespoke suit, it's a Furigan, so I've kind of remade the LCR Honda Castrol for Furigan. And I've tried to sort of match what I've seen with the real-life suits. So, for example, Lequona had the white sort of stretchy material at the top, which is why I've done that for Zarco. And I've given him an old cap that he had from one of the other games, because, of course, he's not going to have a Pramac hat on anymore. But, again, I think actually Zarco does actually fit quite well with this, his actual helmet colour scheme. kind of matches the bike because it is sort of blue and red, just a slightly different tinge, so maybe that does ruin it a little bit. But so far, a lot of them actually do seem to be suiting their colour schemes pretty well. Got Nakagami, obviously no change there. Jorge Martin, basically disappointed for him to miss out on the championship, but no change for him therefore. Aside from, I guess, it's a Desmos Adichie 24 instead of 23. I guess you can count that as a change, but I think that is probably pushing it a little bit. But he's got a new teammate alongside him, Franco Morbelli. Now, at the minute, they both have craft hats on, if you look at them. I don't think they were wearing those by the end of the year, so again, that may be something I go through and change, but that is what the normal Pramac hat is in the game, so for now I've left that. You'll notice I have took the Red Bull logos off it as well for Morbelli, since, of course, he is a Monster-affiliated rider, and I imagine that is how it will stay. You would assume that I've just used the Dainese suit that the custom rider uses, but it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I actually do want to say this, just completely aside from the mod, but the Dainese suits are awful this year for some reason. It reminds me of Valentino Rossi the game, where they were just like the Alpine Stars ones with the Dainese logo sort of just slapped on them. They look horrendous, so I've remade that one from scratch, and I actually think it looks, again, pretty good. The green actually goes quite nicely with the purple, so I feel like I'm just saying this for every bike now at this point, that I like the colour scheme, but I actually really like the 21 on the front of that Pramac. I think that will look good next year. Obviously, he hasn't been using this helmet in pre-season, so I guess we'll see how that goes, but Morbelli's schemes do tend to stay pretty similar, so I imagine he'll have a similar helmet for next season. Now, next up then, we've got Miguel, Oliveira and Raul Fernandez. I didn't expect to be making any tweaks to these guys, but as it came out at the final round, RNF, Aprilia, Crypto Data in some serious trouble with financial issues and obviously with Dorna themselves, and have been banned from the championship in effect. So I have taken off all of the Crypto Data logos, all of the RNF logos off this team, and renamed them to Aprilia Racing Independent Team, as they are called on the MotoGP website. So just sort of address that. I'm not going to go around the bike and show you because it looks the exact same just with those logos removed, but I've just tried to follow the real life thing there because this isn't the RNF team anymore. So that's one of the reasons why the mod's a couple of days later than I wanted it to be, because I kind of had to do this stuff. But for now, they will be Aprilia Racing Independent Team, and they'll be updated because apparently the owner of the NASCAR team Trackhouse is looking at buying them. So I imagine the team won't be called Trackhouse Aprilia Racing. It could be, but I doubt it. But whatever, it gets updated to. So I'll change that in the mod in an update, and I'll probably update the bike model to the new Aprilia as well whilst I'm doing that, just because you may as well if you're making a livery from scratch. Another bike that might get updated at some point is this Ducati, because it does say Desmos Adichie GP23 now instead of 22. Bezzecchi stays exactly the same, but he has a new teammate, Fabio Di Gianantonio, the star of the last couple of rounds of the season. Here is Digi, obviously the Mooney VR46 bike at the minute. Again, that will probably change at some point because I think they're going to be Mandalika or Pertamina VR46 next year, if I'm not mistaken. But for now, obviously, I don't really have a livery to go off for that, so just keeping it with the Mooney theme, just keeping the same livery as this year, and just sticking Digi stuff on that one. And I must say, I actually really like I really like the contrast between the red number on the front and the black bike. Actually, I think that looks pretty sweet. It goes. I prefer it to the Bezzecchi one because the Bezzecchi one isn't quite as deep of a red. That makes any sense, and the blue kind of ruins it a little bit for me. But finally then, we have got the other Ducati team, the Grastini Ducati. Alex Marquez obviously staying the same, no changes there, but this is the one I'm sure you've all been waiting for. Marc Marquez on the Grastini Ducati. Now again, I know this livery will likely change because they're going to bring a lot more sponsors with them. I think Red Bull may actually be going to this team, so that might be part of the reason why they're leaving Repsol Honda. But for now, it's the current Grastini livery with Marc Marquez's number on it, and it just looks good to see Marquez on a Ducati, doesn't it? It's going to be a really, really interesting prospect as we go into the next season. I've colour matched the number, of course, to the white and the red and stuff that's on the bike, so blends in a bit better. Obviously, it's on the back of the suit as well. Obviously, his name's on the back of the suit. So there you go. That is pretty much the entire rundown. The only other thing, I guess, to show is that the Aprilia team here has changed as well. You can see it's stripped off the Crypto Data logos, RNF, and they've given an Aprilia hat because, well, it was going to be a bit difficult to remove the logos off the normal map of the hat, so I just thought I'd just use the Aprilia one because, again, the livery probably will change anyway, but for now it does the job, doesn't it? Because obviously we have no idea what's going to be. It's better than a black bike riding around the track, isn't it, in effect? So that's why I've left the livery, but just removed the logos from it. So I think it is time that we do a little race, and who else are we going to go with other than Marc Marquez, because he is the big transfer of this year, so I'm going to ride as him. We are going to do Valencia as well, so let's get into it, and I'll see you down on the grid for this first race with the MotoGP 2024 mod. So here we are then, right at the back of the grid. We've got to do a bit of a last to first, although we've got 3 laps, so it's probably going to be quite difficult. But Valencia is a weaker track for the AI, although I haven't played the game for quite a while properly, so it will be interesting to see how we actually get on in this one. But you will notice there's a couple of little performance tweaks as well to some of the AI riders. You'll see Martin is actually on pole for this race. I've made him now sort of the other rider that can fight for the championship along with Bagnaia, and of course Marc Marquez as well, because obviously in the game they never updated it, so he was always kind of a just off the top guy performance of rider, but really he should be right up there since he almost won the World Championship. But without any further ado, let's get this race started. Now actually I do have one question for you guys. If anyone knows where we can find these pictures here, the grid pictures, it'd be really, really appreciated, because I can't find them anymore in the way that I did. It used to be on the MotoGP website's homepage. It's not since they redesigned it, so that's why unfortunately they are still in their old kits on those pictures, but you know, not a lot I can do about that.
The Martinator proved himself as the pole man. We just have to see if he'll be able to dominate this race as well.
So Martin then on pole position. We've got GP24 1-2 with Binder in 3rd place. A bit of a surprise to see him there because actually haven't changed him at all. But what can Marc Marquez do from the back of the grid? So here we are then. Lights out, away we go. A pretty decent start. We've got the run on Augusto already. So we're going towards turn 1. So Marquez up into P21 already, although we've tried to move over, and to be fair, he was hanging in there a little bit more than I expected. As we go through turn 1. Oh, I forgot how much the bike picks up. I've been playing a lot more GP bikes lately than MotoGP 23. I forgot how much the sit-up effect is there, because again, the MotoGP 23 mod is out for that game, and it's pretty good as well, so kind of trying to get used to this game's physics once again. But we've passed Alicia Spagro, who's right at the back for some reason. Seems very bizarre. Augusto Fernandez trying to go around the outside, so I have a feeling this last to first isn't going to go too well, although someone in the middle of the pack that was cutting the corner. Don't know who that was. Might have been Marini, it might have been me. I feel like it's a Repsol Honda. We're at the inside of Oliveira, a little bit of contact with Miguel actually. But he seems to have the run on us. So the AI got that advantage, although I think I've got the electronic settings a bit too high. It's probably limiting the bike quite a bit as we go through turn 8, trying to get the inside of our former Honda colleague, Takaki Nakagami. Have we got him? Well, he's trying to hang it around the outside, but I think he's going to get run out of road. So there we go then, up into P18. Raul Fernandez on the independent Aprilia team ahead of us, obviously, as we should call it now. That's another corner cutting penalty, so do need to be careful. I'm not riding very well in this race, but to be fair, I've not ridden the MotoGP bikes for a long time in this game. Obviously I'm in Moto 2 in career mode at the moment, which should be coming back soon, so I do apologise about the big delay. And I swear I saw a rider down at the last corner there. I didn't. It was the outside of the track, but I thought it was a rider down for some reason, so that's a little bit worrying. But here we go then. We've got Nakagami and Augusto Fernandez trying to come past us, so it's really not been the start to the race that I wanted. In fact, Augusto Fernandez just outbraked me to turn 1. That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. We've just hit him at the back as well, so this has been an absolutely terrible race for my riding, because we're still in P18. We've barely made any progress through the field. Oliveira's trying to pass us again at the last corner, but we've got the run out of it. But I tell you what, we're 100% on the wrong front tyre, on the hard front tyre, on the medium front tyre, sorry. We should be on the hard, because the medium's got way too much temperature in it right now. It's unrideable. And I must say, I don't think I've ever done one race in a game that's made me more frustrated. Like, I can't remember why people don't like this game so much now playing the GP class. In Moto 2 and Moto 3, it's actually quite fun, but in the GP class, the bikes are stiff. They don't want to turn them in. I know MotoGP bikes are stiff, but they just feel pretty bad, to be honest. And they don't really want to stop either, which they definitely do in real life. They've got pretty heavy carbon brakes and aero that can help them stop much faster than the past. And the AI just keep almost hitting me at like every corner. It's so frustrating. But I tell you what, I think the pace is picking up slightly now. I think if we had a few more laps, I'd start to get into a bit more of a rhythm. But if I was to do this race again, I'd do it longer so that we have more laps, and I'd put a hard tyre on the front so that we're not in so much difficulties, because the braking on this game, the front tyre just goes to the roof, the temperature, which I guess they tried to do on purpose, but it's frustrating to ride. And obviously the acceleration is pretty aggressive. Rins has made a pretty big mistake though. Can we try and capitalise on Alex Rins? We're on the inside of him. Yes, we can. Luca Marini is just dead. And here comes Oliveira at the inside of a pair of us. And I'm going to lose 2 spots into the last corner. In fact, I'm definitely going to lose 2 spots into the last corner as they both come through. Can we use the ride-out device and the power 3 to the line? No, we can't. It's going to be 19th here as Marc Marquez. Definitely not winning any awards for my riding there. But either way, there you go, that is the MotoGP 2024 mod. Should be coming out pretty soon. It is going to be the MotoGP class only at first, that is worth noting. Now, I know some people will be a little bit disappointed with that, but the way I'll phrase that for you is that either the MotoGP comes out on its own now, or like Moto2 and Moto3 just come out later and as a whole thing anyway. So you may as well just release the classes as I finish them. I may as well just release them like that, because the whole mod would just be on hold till the other two classes are finished, which doesn't really make any sense, especially when MotoGP is the main one that most people want it for. Moto2, Moto3 are still coming though, guys. The Pirelli tyres, everything like that. So don't worry, it's not being left out, and it's not going to be any later because MotoGP's come out first. It would be the same anyway. It's just coming out earlier. Well, not earlier, I guess. Yeah, well, I suppose it is earlier because the last couple of years have been pretty late. I think for the GP22 mod, I think I didn't release that until in 2022. Last year, I think it was around Christmas time. So this time, we're about a month ahead of schedule in terms of mod release. Hopefully then Moto2 could come after that pretty shortly. I will probably also update some liveries in this MotoGP class when I release the Moto2 update, and then Moto3 will come after that in a final update. So that is the, well, final update in terms of adding the bikes. There will be more updates after that, hopefully, because I only made 2 updates last year, so yeah, I definitely want to beat that one, that's for sure. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy that one. Like I said, career mode should be back soon, so if you're actually new to my channel, please do like the video and subscribe, because you'll get plenty more MotoGP content. Now, the riding will be better than that. I wouldn't have just jumped on the game without playing. I would have actually practiced a little bit first to make sure I'm on the pace and pick the right tyre going into the race as well. That would be quite helpful. But yeah, hopefully you did enjoy that one. The mod link will be in the description once it is released. So if it's not there, it's not out yet, probably in the comments as well. So don't just ask when it's released. Just look at the comments and things like that. Just come back to the video. But it should be pretty soon after the video comes out, like a day or so. So yeah, I would say that the mod is most likely out when you're watching it, but it could not be if you are watching it early enough. But yeah, hopefully you do enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you'll stay safe. I shall see you in the next one.